start the show without the star, right?
Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and today we are going with part 2 of our poison guide about how you can get from an absolute rookie to a grandmaster with this character. In part 1 we talked about the general gameplay and the general game plan and how you can use our normal and specials to zone our opponent. But in today's part we are going to talk more about the combos, OQ setups, and all the stuff that can really make you effective at playing this character. So let's get started. So now we are going to talk about her other two remaining special moves, because I feel like they don't play as much of a crucial role as the event line and the heart rate. And we are first going to start with the Love Me Tender. The Love Me Tender is her flip kick. These are the main purpose of the Love Me Tender is to jump over fireballs pretty much. So let's have Urian here throwing some fireballs. You know, as we said before, you could do this, you do the medium blade and you are trading all day. Or maybe beating him if you release it fast enough. So the idea of the Love Me Tender is that you can get to jump over that. You basically do that. You jump over the fireball and now you hit him. The thing is, you have to do this pretty early. If you do it late, this will happen. You're gonna get hit. So you have to do the move before the fireball comes out. It's gonna depend on the projectile speed, but typically you are doing this before the fireball comes out. So that is the main use of the Love Me Tender. That is how you will use it in the neutral. It's not a bad idea to do it versus fireball characters, because again you are trading. Maybe you want to get in, so you will throw it out, but you have to be careful with it. One good thing about the Love Me Tender though is that the EX is fireball invincible, so you can do the fireball, the EX one really late, and you will still go through fireball. And EX Love Me Tender is a dirty move, honestly, because this attack is only -4 on block and it's an overhand. So you know how poison, let's say your opponent is at a magic pixel, and this is something that happens all the time. Let's say your opponent has 25% and let's not have him block, or block on the first attack. No, let's not have him on block. So your opponent's about to die and he's at this magic pixel, and at this magic pixel he's worried about my crouching heavy. He doesn't want to walk back because I will check him walking back. So then you do the overhead and that ends rounds. Like, this is one of the most obnoxious round enders in the game. Another thing that you can use the Love Me Tender move for is for combo filling, because of the heavy punch, the medium normal combo, so you can get something like that. It's basically, outside of using it as a fireball, it's a combo filler or a throw bait, because if they try to throw, you are airborne, so you will jump over them. Let's actually have that. Let's record him taking the throw after it, because I wanted to show it to you guys. So now Urian will try to throw us after a block and having everything on one. So as you can see, if he tries to interrupt us, basically you get a throw bait. And instead of doing something like this, maybe you can go for something like this. This is too risky, but maybe if you cancel the jab instantly, yeah, that would work. So it can be used as a gimmicky throw bait, because you can get a conversion after it, or maybe even use the EX. Honestly, the EX is also really stupid at that. So you can use it as a throw bait, you can use it to jump over fireball. That is the main purpose of the move, and the EX is a really good round ender. Another move that is, or the last special move she have, is the heals. The light kick heal, medium heal, and heavy heal. And the heal, outside of the light kick heal, the light kick heal have a neutral purpose, and that is being good as an anti-air. So here's the thing. Here is an issue with poison that you have to be aware of if you're playing this character. So we thought before that crouching medium punch is an amazing anti-air, right? But the thing is, it doesn't have much horizontal hitbox. I'm sorry, it doesn't have much horizontal hitbox. So if your opponent empty jumps like that, you will get punished, right? So from certain ranges, it will whiff. If they are far enough, it might whiff and you will get punished. So that is why you are supposed to use the light kick heel. The light kick heel is a move that will cover this angle. It doesn't have any invincibility, but it is good as an anti-air. The hitbox is really good in this. If you do it too late, you might even get it raid or get outbeat, right? So it's not like the go-to anti-air, but it is pretty decent because it covers the issue of the crouching medium punch. So more likely than not, your crouching medium punch would be your default anti-air, and this is if you expect them to empty jump. It's an alright anti-air, and honestly, you still even have the EX heart rate, so it's a go-to anti-air. It's a decent one. If you have V-Trigger 1 on, let me show you this. If you have V-Trigger 1 on, you can do really good stuff with this. What is he doing? If you have V-Trigger 1 on, you can use this and get a combo after it. It is a decent anti-air in certain situations. Overall, it's good because it covers the weakness of the crouching medium punch. That is the main purpose. Other than that, you are going to use the heals or combo fillers, basically. These attacks are combo fillers because they lead to knockdown and OK. And this also goes for the EX, and the EX is it's basically your launcher style attack. So the EX is her basic launcher. You can do something like this, use a Vskill, and then, you know, get a combo after it. So the light kick heals outside of the light, the medium and the heavy are all just combo fillers. You can combo into the medium from mediums or from standing light kick. Other than that, from lights you can only combo into light heal. So light heal. But to get into the medium heal, you need to use the medium button or the heavies. So medium into medium, and they give you progressively better OK. So the light have a little bit more pushback, the medium is a little bit less, and the heavy leave you right next to them. The heavy heal can only combo from the heavy punch, but it does give you a really good knockdown. So the heals are combo fillers. You use them based on your normal strengths, basically. If you're cancelling from light, I suggest using the light. If you're cancelling from medium, use the medium. If you're cancelling from a heavy punch, because that's pretty much your only cancelable heavy, use the heavy kick heal. Overall, they're all really good. They are mostly combo fillers. Now regarding Poison Vskills. Now she have two Vskills, of course, like everyone else in Street Fighter 5. And usually in this type of videos I like to do a breakdown of each Vskill. But honestly, don't waste your time with Vskill 1. I think Poison is one of the characters who have a very clear-cut Vskills on which is better. Vskill 2 is clearly better in every way. You do more damage, you get OK, and I will show you why Vskill 2 is really good. So Vskill 2 is this cartwheel attack. She does this cartwheel. It doesn't hit by itself, and it doesn't have any invincibility of any sort. You can always get hit or thrown from this. So why is this cartwheel so good? Well, it's good for multiple reasons. First of all, if you hold the button, she does this attack, and you can cancel the flip into a special move like the Avant line and get a combo after. So to start, it's really good as a combo extension because you can do something like that. That's good damage. Ultimately, you can do something like this, for example, but with the V-Skill combo, not only are you building V-Bar, you're also doing more damage. Let's turn on the damage counter, yeah? So this is 250 almost, while that's almost 300. So you're adding more damage and you're getting V-Bar, right? So that's really good. We're building V-Trigger and we are getting damage. It also combos with from a crutch counter, a standing heavy kick. So from this you typically would do something like that. And this is 191. 191 is fine, but if you use the V skill, you can get something like that. And you get almost 240. And you're building more V bar because you use the V skill. So it's very good in combo, it's very good to use as a combo filler. So number one application as a combo filler. The second important application for the V skill is to side switch when they jump at you. So let's have Akuma jump at us. Yeah, it's recording too, I believe. We're in the corner, Akuma is jumping at us, whoop, and we switch sides. This is gigantic because before you would only get something like that, maybe try to throw or nosy jump, whatever. But now you get a guaranteed side switch, and you're still plus. If he jumping at you like that, you'll see we are here, we will +1. You might even get it to be more plus. This was +5. You can get it to be really plus. It depends on how your attack hits. But generally speaking, you're plus. You are never almost unsafe when you're doing this, except if it hits in a really I'm sorry. Except if it hits in a really specific bad way. So it can be used to side switch. It can be used as combo filler. It also can be used as a mobility tool, and it can be used to punish things that are too far away. So let me give you another example. If we had Akuma do his V skill from full screen, the V skill 2, typically speaking, you will have to use a heavy kick, love me tender or something to punish something from full screen like that. But the V skill also reaches. You can punish stuff like that almost from full screen, which is awesome. This will work for stuff like Honda's Charge, Nash's V skill, Sagad's V skill, Akuma's V skill, you know, G's level up. There's a lot of stuff here that normally you would have to use the heavy kick, love me tender, but the V skill is actually faster. So you can use it to punish stuff from full screen. Of course, this is punishable. If they block in time, you will get punished. But that is a really good application for that. And another very important application is to use it as a mobility tool. Because generally speaking, Poison has her walk speed is alright. It's not amazing. Her dash speed is kinda slow, and the dash in general doesn't go anywhere. While the V skill lets you cover distance quickly. Why would we want that? Why is that good for? Let's talk about a scenario like this. Akuma jumps, oh, it's not this one. See, Akuma jumps is always an issue. Even if I'm recording it, it's always an issue. But it's this recording. Akuma jumps and Akuma does the air fireball. You try to anti-air him, you try to maybe walk under or something, but it can be tricky. If he spaces right, it can be tricky. So why is V-skill too good? Yeah, you can do something like that. You can just V-skill under him and get a punish on a grounded punish. This will also work for stuff like G air fireball and stuff like that. So it works as a mobility option, it works as a combo filler, it works as a punish for some stuff full screen. Another really important thing for Vskill 2 is Oki. Vskill 2 gives Poison a ton of Oki. For example, you do a sweep, let's remove crash counter. Okay, let's have a jab, you do a sweep and you dash forward and you're +7. +7 is nice, that's not too bad, you can still get a ton of stuff out of that. From something like this, you may get this. This will combo, right? +7 is cool, but with V-Skill 1, if we cancel that into the V-Skill, we are at, let's look at this, we are at +20. You have 13 more frames of advantage. And this doesn't also apply to the like dashing forward or not. If we take something like on a double dash after a light kick heel, we are -3. Now let's do light kick heel and then do the V skill. We are +4. So for the same OK situation, double dash is -3, V skill 2 is +4. The difference here is gigantic because now with double dashing you can meet it, or you will have to do a manual walk up, while with V skill you can very easily get a very reliable combo. And we are even closer, so at +4 we can do something like that. We can throw him and it will be meaty if I time it right. we can always get this wrong. So Vskill 2 gives you better Oki, it's a combo extension, it's a mobility option, it allows you to punish everything. Vskill 2 for poison is awesome. And lastly, it's also a very good gimmick, because let's have Akuma block the first attack. You can do something like this with Vskill 2 and switch under, and why is this good? You can do something like that. They are not expecting it and you win it around. Of course this is unsafe, but it's still a cool gimmick. You can even do stuff like that, dash forward and throw them, kinda like how Ken or Ibuki uses their command dashes. It is a little bit more reactable, but if you're using it sparingly, it's pretty good. So use Vskill 2 with poison. It's an excellent V-skill, and it's probably what pushed Poison from being a mid-tier character to being a very strong character in Season 5. This V-skill completes the character. And now in regards to Poison and her V-triggers, as like everyone in this game, she have 2 V-triggers and both of them are 2 bars. So that's already really good, that she have two V-bars V-triggers, and you'll have to think about it this way. V-trigger 1 makes what she was already good at even better. Let's say you are getting 50 damage out of something, now you're getting 150 damage out of it. That is V-trigger 1. It already enhances what she's good at, but it doesn't open new options. V-trigger 2 on the other hand opens new options, but they are not that stellar. So you will have to see and judge on that and which one you want. So first let's talk about V-trigger 2 first, because V-trigger 2 does... Generally it is accepted that V-trigger 1 is a superior V-trigger, but V-trigger 2 in my opinion is still a very nice V-trigger. It allows you some really cool stuff and it opens some exciting things for her. So V-trigger 2 gives Poison 2 command grabs. She gets a close range command grab, and that is done by pressing the V-trigger button, and it also gives her a far range command grab. And here is the thing. The close range command grab is pretty decent. It's actually 170 to 100 stun. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. And the 150 for the far range command grab, that's also really good. And you have to consider that they are also combable. So if you do something like this, you still juggle and you still get the hit. 290 for 100 stun, that's pretty damn good, right? And if we're talking about the close range, you can do something like this, and then you're also comboing into it, and you're getting like 300 damage. So both of them have really good combo routes, V-trigger 1 and V-trigger 2. V-trigger 2 can also be used in some very niche situations. There are some matchups where I do prefer V-trigger 2. And let me show you a scenario that is where I will use V-trigger 2 pretty much, honestly. So let's have Fang do something like this. Does a Ryu Benda and then does a flip. Here you're either supposed to use the EX Love Me Tender, or you can use your super, right? This is a situation where you either spend the super to get the punish, or you use the EX Love Me Tender. It's not that amazing, but the V-trigger 2 does give you a decent option here, because the far range command grab will catch him out of that. So it does have some niche situations like that. You can also use it to gimmick people out. You can do something like, let's have him crouch, and you can do something like that. You know, that's kinda cheesy, kinda gimmicky, but it works. It also can be used for situation like, let's have him jump. You can do something like that with the far range command grab, which will do the first hit. You know, that will combo, that's not bad. So the far range command grab does have its uses. The issue with the V-trigger 2 is that it resets the neutral. So, and it's not bad for Poison, because versus some characters, she does dominate the neutral, but more often than not, when you are activating your V-trigger, you want a comeback. So I do recommend V-trigger 2 in very niche situations, like something like versus Fang, maybe versus a character like Honda. I like to use V-Trigger too, because even this, just having the far range command grab, this forces your opponent to act. This forces them to action basically. So it is good in some uses. The close command grab does give you some alright okay. When you do it, you're +7, I believe that +17. No, you're not +17. You're not plus on dash forward. On a dash forward, you're -2, so you can't really stroll a little bit. But what you can do is the command grab, and let me show you this. Is let's have Fang wake up with a backdash, because I want to show you guys this. Okay, so Fang will try to wake up with a backdash. We are going for... If he is not blocking, you can do something like that. You can get the command grab, and then meet you with the EX heart rate, and this puts them in a juggle state, as you see. But you can still combo from this. You can do this, use the EX heart rate. If he does, you do the far range command grab, and now we get combo. That's decent okay. If he doesn't go for that, and if he's just blocking, let's have the wake up off. And if he's just blocking, you can get something like this. You can do this and then get the gain. And if he's just not blocking on wake up, let's have him not block on wake up. You can also, even if this hit, you can loop it basically. So it's not bad at all. It's honestly it's not a bad V-Trigger at all. V-Trigger 2 is still a very good V-Trigger in my opinion. It's scary, and versus some kind of players, some players are afraid of command grabs, so V-Trigger 2 is still a very decent option. V-Trigger 1 on the other hand is completely bonkers, because V-Trigger 1, like we said, just about enhances everything about the character, especially when you put it in conjunction with Vskill 2. V-Trigger 1, Vskill 2 is amazing. So let's, for example, talk about a light confirm, like something like this. Generally you are getting 121 damage, that is meterless, that's whatever, right? Or maybe you can do something like that. 138, that is, you know, it's not the best in the world, it's whatever. But with V-Trigger 1, with Vskill 1 and the V-Skill, look at the jab confirm and what you can get out of it. Where is the attack data? We are getting almost 300 damage out of that, out of the jab confirm. If you do like, let's say something like a heavy punch to the medium blade, we are getting 170. Remember, we almost got 300 with V-Trigger 2, right? Here we can get something like this. We are getting 300 too. But here is something that you have to consider. The game doesn't count the burn damage. So we are actually getting even more than 302. You can add 60 to that 302. So in reality we are getting 360. But that's not all. You can also do something like this. You can cancel that heavy avant line into a super. And remember that, like, regardless of the number 488, but it didn't count the 60 added damage, so in reality we are getting almost 550 from that. Poison damage output in V-Trigger 1 is absurd. Even the smallest combos, like let's do just a 1 bar bread and butter combo, right? Just a 1 bar combo. That is 400 damage with 1 bar, and we still have 1 more Molotov toss, which you can use for something like that, and that's almost another 350. So V-Trigger 1 gives Poison insane damage. Now it doesn't open new mix-ups per se. There is some situations where you can get a mix-up, like if you do something like this, you can do that, skill, and this is a decent mix-up, you can get stuff like that. But overall, V-Trigger 1 is a combo filler, big damage V-Trigger. It allows you to have some extremely explosive combos. Also, one small but not insignificant added benefit of V-Trigger 1 is that you can use it when you're in the corner to side switch. So more often than not, your opponent might be, pressuring you in the corner. You will do something like this. You can crush a medium kick, you do the heavy raid, and voila. And now you're in the corner. So this is excellent for side switching as well, especially in conjunction with V-Skill 2. So V-Trigger 1 gives you extreme damage. It also makes some of your interruptions and some of your stuff safe. Well, safe-ish, because there is a gap there, but you can do some, let's say you do this, you can just throw the Molotov toss and, whatever happens. You don't care, your opponent is likely not going to interrupt. Another thing is, let's have Fang jump at us here. He is jumping like that with a heavy punch. If we have the V-Trigger 1 on, normally we are getting like a crouching medium, a lined event line. In some very niche situations like this, see, this will whiff. So Poison doesn't get that much of an amazing damage out of an anti-air. Typically she doesn't get extreme damage from anti-airs, but with V-Trigger 1 you can get something like this into super, and then you're getting gigantic damage. So, and this is what I mean. She does already high combos in V regardless, and V-Trigger 2, V-Trigger 1 gives you higher damage. You get a side switch, you get more damage on your anti-air. And this is even, you don't even have to use the light kick avant line. This can get really stupid. Let's have him jump here from like, and let's open the attack data because I want you to see this. So Fang is jumping. Generally speaking, what we did with V-Trigger 2 is we were able to let's take a look at this again. With V-Trigger 2, you can get something like this. Oh no, sorry. Which is around 200 damage, which is nice. 200 damage is nice. But with V-Trigger 1, and especially on activation, oh sorry, I'm fucking this up. I think you need to be a little bit closer here. I think you need to do the octopus. Like even for that, even if you're doing that, you are getting really good damage and you get the activation. So V-Trigger 2, V-Trigger 1 is really good as a combo extension. I think I had a brain fart here, I don't know. I honestly don't remember that much. But you know, the point still stands. You get a ton out of everything. It allows you to basically make everything count a lot more. And I'm sure you all have seen the item combo, you know, where you do, like let's say you activate V-Trigger and you do a combo like this. It says 380 damage, but you have to consider there are two burning effects going on here. Each one of them is 60, so we are looking at really 400 plus damage. So V-Trigger 1 makes Poison ridiculous. It gives her a ton of damage out, and it also allows some sneaky stuff because you can do stuff like that, and that stuff actually happens. And if you play with Poison, you will see that it happens a lot. So maybe something like this will happen. This actually happens a lot. You can hit confirm this. They try to move after the raid, they get hit, they get tagged, and look at how much damage they took just because they tried to move after blocking a medium raid. So, and now like this with burn damage, you get insane damage. V-Trigger 1 is amazing for already making the great damage output even better. The only issue with V-Trigger 1 versus V-Trigger 2 is that V-Trigger 2 gives you new options, while V-Trigger 1 makes your already existing options even much better. So you can't go wrong with either, but I would recommend for the most part to go with V-Trigger 1 because it really does give her a very strong comeback factor. And now before we get to Oki and combos, I wanted to give you some general talk about her critical art and its neutral purposes. So Poison, as we said, she doesn't have a DB or reversal in any way, so your super is your only reversal. It's a 9-frame startup, so it's not even that fantastic as a reversal, although it is usable, you know. The move also have about, I would just say, that is maybe 70%, you know, range, like 70% screen range about. So it's a pretty good move. The move can be used in the neutral to heavy punish fireballs. So if we had Fang doing, no, we don't want to do that. Let's have Fang here do his Nish Q for fireball. As you can see, whoops, and he's whipped. So it's really good for punishing fireballs. It's a very threatening option once you have that. It's also a kind of consistent combo filler because let's have him jump again. You can do it from stuff like that. So the critical art in general is gonna be your DP and it's gonna be your anti-fireball tool basically, and the combo filler. The issue with the CA is it scales a lot when they're about to die because it hits multiple times, so guts really kick in, and no matter where you did it on the screen, it will always reset you back to mid-screen. So if we had him in the corner and we did the CA, we will see that we will be back to mid-screen when it's over. This is good if you are cornered, but it's bad when they are cornered. So when you got them in the corner, it's something to be aware of, that the critical art will actually, you know, return the neutral and put you back to mid-screen, and you don't get anything from it. When you yourself is cornered, it's not so bad to use it. So just something to keep in mind. And following with that, we will talk about her jumping games in general. Poison actually have a pretty good jump aerial game. Your light kick is your cross up. She doesn't have a jumping medium cross up. Jumping medium does this air flip stuff, and jumping heavy, of course, is not a cross up. But jumping medium is a cross up. It's unlikely that you'll hit it deep enough to combo into a medium. So this you'll have to hit it super deep, and this is not likely to happen. But what's most likely to happen is you will combo like jabs after it. And Fang is really tall, so you're not even getting a good combo after it. But you know, typically speaking, you are going to combo lights out of that. So that's not terrible. One thing, and what this is a key move she have, is while jumping forward, you press forward and heavy punch, and you do this attack. This is very good because it has a ton of range. So if your opponent's throwing fireballs from full screen, you can do something like this and you will tag them, and if you don't, of course they can anti-air it, like flash kick it or something, but if you don't do it, their attack whiff. So this is really good at, you know, jumping over stuff and hitting it from far range. You're unlikely to be able to combo something after it, maybe depending on the distance, but it's good at, like, say, jumping fireballs full screen. Her jumping heavy punch is ridiculous. Now she does have a jumping heavy kick and a jumping heavy punch. Heavy kick comes out faster, so when you're jumping in, you can do the heavy kick and it generally comes out faster. Jumping heavy punch is slower, but honest to God, the angle on this jumping heavy punch is fucked up. You can do this attack super early and it will beat anti-airs because of the downwards angle on the whip. So think of it as something like Chun-Li's jumping heavy kick or Ken jumping heavy punch. It's an attack with such a downward angle that it makes it really good when they are when you're jumping in on them. Even stuff like, you know, let's say you knock them down and try to jump to bait a throw, something like that. This is very good for that because look at how high you can do it and it will hit them. So pretty good. If you want to go for the stance cancel, or generally if you want to combo into heavy on landing, I will always suggest using the heavy punch. The heavy punch is a lot more plus on hit. So if you're going something like that, this is likely to get blocked. This will get blocked a lot. See, that didn't combo, while from standing heavy, it's much more consistent. You didn't come out at all this time. 2 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits. Of course this was way too high, but you know, you get the point. So generally jumping heavy punch have more frame advantage. It have a fucked up jump angle, so if you're jumping in on someone, I will always recommend using jumping heavy punch. It's one of the best. It's one of her best jumping normals. She also have a really decent air to air normal, and that is the jump medium punch. And this have a target combo tied to it. So let's have Fang jump. You can do that, yeah. You can do jumping, and you can do this even jumping back. So even if you're jumping back, you can do the jumping medium into forward heavy. And you can do jumping medium into heavy, and this will spike you. But I do like the jumping medium into heavy a lot. And you can delay this actually, and maybe get a juggle after it like that. So pretty good air to air. Jumping light kick is also a surprisingly good air to air actually. And the jumping medium, this will work versus stuff like the Vegas wall dive, or if you're neutral jumping. If you're neutral jumping or healing versus something like Vegas wall dive, the jumping medium kick is good. Jumping jab is also fine, it's fine. It's nothing that amazing. But generally speaking, you will want to be using your jumping medium for your air to air or jumping light. You will want to use your jumping heavy punch for jumping in, and the jumping forward plus heavy punch for far jumps, and light kick for the cross-ups. It's not really terribly complicated, but her jumps are not that complicated, but they're effective. So you're typically not gonna be jumping that much with poison anyway, but if you do, know that jumping heavy punch is fucked up. This is some really good. And now before I leave you with Oki and combos, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be primarily using Vskills 2 as the core Oki tool here, because this is going to be your most optimal setup. If you want to get really into a favorable position with poison, I would recommend using Vskills 2. And just for a closing thought, I wanted to give us a complete conclusion on what is going on. So we are going to use poison, we are going to control the mid-range, play from a range like that, abuse our heart rates. If you're playing against a fireball character, it's okay to trade, it's okay to use the EX Love Me Tender. Don't go in too hard. When you're playing versus some of the characters who do get in on you too much, I do suggest strike just to remain calm and don't go for nothing that's overly committal. I know it's hard at the start when you play versus a character like Poison, especially if you're new to fighting games and you don't have that much experience in the game. But trust me, she is worth it. Poison is an amazing character. She's not easy to play online that much, but she could have been a lot worse, honestly. So now I'm going to leave you with Oki combos and setups, and if you enjoy this video and would like to see more like that, please let me know. Please like, subscribe or share. It all really helps. Thank you for watching and stay safe.